Hey everyone and welcome. We're gonna play acro today. And if you don't know what acro is, Acroyoga is a combination of partner yoga and acrobatics. And today I have Eric, my husband, and Marina, my wife. Oh, that was loud. First, we're gonna start off with a little self-centering and a little bit of warm up by ourselves. So even if you have one mat for the three of you, you can just turn around and come on down and lay down with your back on the mat. Hands by your sides. Maybe touching your partner, maybe not. And just take a nice big inhale. And exhale. Really coming into your body, coming into the moment. And just start to deepen your breath, finding your center. And knowing that whatever that I suggest to do in this acro class, it is always up to you to say no if you don't feel like it. And that's totally okay. We're all in this together. And we're all here to support each other. Take one more big, deep breath. Take those arms overhead, reaching up to the ceiling. Take those feet one at a time up to the ceiling. We're just gonna roll our ankles and our wrists. Getting them nice and lubed up for today's practice. Go the other way. And shake it out. Little temper tantrum. And come to stillness, planting those feet, reaching the arms overhead, letting those legs come long. And big morning stretch. And then let's come on to our right side. Press up to seated. And we're gonna keep our legs as they are. So left foot behind us, right foot sort of in front of us. We're gonna take the tiniest little twist over to the right. Inhale. And exhale. And bring those arms overhead, inhale. And switch the legs over to the left. Awesome. Nice hip mobility there. And then exhale, arms come down, twist to the left. Inhale. And exhale. And we're gonna plant our hands onto the mat in front of us and somehow come into tabletop. If this is not fun for your knees, it's not fun for mine. So I'm gonna bring my knees forward and my hands over the ground, on the ground. So here we go. We're gonna take our left foot behind us, nice and long, as if we're in a plank. And then the right hand can come forward and circle all the way over, down to maybe your left hip, maybe your low back, and look up. And bringing it back all the way down to the ground. I'm gonna do the same with the other side. So plant that left knee, right leg goes long behind you. Inhaling that left arm up. circling overhead. And maybe it finds your low spine or your right hip. Looking up. Staying connected with the breath here. And coming all the way back. And down. Awesome. And setting that right knee down, taking the toes, tucking them underneath and pressing up and back, downward facing dog. I'm like touching my mic, is that okay? Okay. Taking the left leg high to the sky and bending that knee, stacking the hips over to the right. We're not gonna flip our dog just yet. Just thinking about it, keeping those shoulders facing the ground and bringing it back down. Feeling if there's a difference in the hips. Then we're gonna take the right leg long behind us, sky high, then bending that knee, stacking the hips over, keeping the shoulders facing the ground. Really pressing them with the fingertips. Hi. And bringing it back. Stepping down to our four-legged dog, walking it out just a bit. And take the knees wide, down to the ground, come into child's pose, just for a brief moment, just to sort of recenter. And pulling ourselves up into tabletop, pressing up and back into our downward dog. Taking our left foot high to the sky, bending the knee, bringing it into the chest before we step it between the hands. Inhale, rise up, crescent. And spin that back heel down, warrior two, looking towards that left hand. But the body, the whole body faces the person in front of you. If you don't have a person in front of you, just imagine you have a person in front of you. And cartwheeling the hands down, framing the foot, picking that foot up and stepping it back. Three-legged downward dog and step it down. Taking the right leg high to the sky, same. Gonna bend that knee into the chest, step it forward. Take that belly off the thighs, roll up. Inhale. And exhale, settle. And spiraling that left heel down, coming to warrior two. Find some strength and stability. And cartwheeling those hands down, framing the foot, picking that right foot up, stepping it into the sky behind us, and then step it down. Look to the hands, bend the knees, step or hop to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Let something go here. Soften a little bit more. Micro bend in the knees. You can even sway side to side if you'd like, or shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Get some tension out of the shoulders and the neck. And On your next inhale, bend the knees a lot and come into chair. Just sitting way back in your chair on your heels, maybe lifting the toes, neutral spine. Feel the fire in the legs, and then sit down just a little bit more. And maybe a little bit more. And on your next inhale, rise up and circle the arms down, heart center. Nice job, everybody. Give your partners a high five. Okay, now we can get into some fun partner stuff now that our limbs are a little bit more mobile. So take the wrists of your partner. No matter how many partners you have, you can do this with as many partners as you like. And we're gonna sit back, shoulders back as well. So if you need to come in, that's cool. Sit nice and low down in your chair. And then we're gonna just step to the right, all together. Right foot first, left foot, right foot, left foot. Bring those elbows in so that you can come a little bit closer. Awesome. And right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. We are moving as a unit. Oh yes. Okay. And the other way. Ready? Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Checking our posture. Left foot. Oh, I messed up. Left foot, right foot. Okay, and stand nice and together. Awesome. Taking our right foot to the person to our right, their right hip. Yes, awesome. And maybe you can let go. And arms up. Maybe a little back bend. And come back, gripping wrists. And slowly. And then I'm gonna do the opposite. So come nice and wide, sticking our butts out, and taking that right leg long behind you, warrior three, using your partners for balance and giving stability at the same time. This is such a good, harmonious thing to do, especially right now, when we need support, but also need to give support. It's awesome. Okay, bend that front knee, bringing that right knee to the chest, maybe, and stepping it down. Stepping forward with it, taking our left foot to our partner's left hip crease. Balancing here, inhaling the arms up maybe. Maybe a little bit of a back bend. And come back to center. Gripping wrists, coming out. All together. And stepping back. And left leg goes long behind us this time. Warrior three. Try to keep those, the pelvises facing the floor. Same with our shoulders. Maybe a micro bend in that right knee. Feeling the stability of this unit. We're so much stronger together than we are apart. And bending into that front knee. Left knee maybe can come into the chest. And stepping it down. Yay! I just feel so much more connected to these people now. Isn't it wonderful? Okay, so we'll get into some basic acroyoga poses with, and Marina, if you want a base, because you have a great down dog, we're gonna start in down dog. We'll do a down dog base. So go ahead and however you'd like, come into your downward facing dog. So I see when people play with this all the time. It's just always a question of where to put your hands. Do I put them here? Do I put them there? Do I put them there? It's all, and I could even put them on her hands. But for right now, I'm just going to, I usually start here and then I step over. So I'm in puppy peeing, just like we did earlier. And then setting my hips somewhere on her hips. And then pressing up with my feet and my hips. I can come into a little bit of a scorpion. And you can, if you're flexible enough, you can put your feet all the way on your head. I cannot. And if you really wanted, you could walk like this. So you could take the right hand and your right foot, and then the left hand, left foot. And then I call this the scorpion monster. And then to come out, you just step your one foot to the side and come out to the side. And then high five your partner for doing an awesome job. So spotting, the most important thing with spotting is the head usually, and just making sure the head doesn't go to the floor. Because even a fall, if you're upside down from like this height, which I guess we can show now, we can do, you can fly, and I'll spot. We can do mini candle if you want a base. Yeah. So this is called mini candle. Hips on the ground. I'm gonna grab onto the knee/thigh, so like the bottom of the thigh here. And Eric is going to give you his hands. I'm gonna place your shoulders into his hands, step up on his knees, straightening legs, and then coming up. Then to get out, you can just step to the side. You got this, girl. So to spot, I actually spot her shoulders. There she goes. Awesome. So that if she falls this way, my head is here. And she's got it. And if she falls down, then my hands are here. And I'm not like away, I'm like actually right there. They look like they're pretty stable. Awesome, good job. Yay.
That was my first time doing that.
Ah, it was her first time. She did so good. What do you know? Okay, we're gonna do bridge on bridge, or donut as it has been called. We're gonna start with a bridge. So base can come into a bridge, knees right over the ankles, hips nice and high. Then the flyer is gonna place their head in between the knees. Yeah. And spotter is going to come and spot the hips because her neck and head are pretty well protected. She's gonna kick up. She's gonna let me know which one she's kicking up with so that I can expect it. Also, I can help her by taking the one she's not kicking up with and holding it. And there we go, kicking up. Awesome. Taking one foot and then the other. Then pressing up. So the flyer is trying to press down more than away, and it looks great. Spotter is not going away. So as a spotter, I'm still on the hips here, especially if they're unstable. And to come out, just come out the same way we came in, one leg at a time. Yay, good job. And so also, especially on inversions, I'm just gonna demo real quick. So especially in inversions, if it's like really wobbly, it's totally okay to come down to the side. Boop. And in acro, we don't say like fall, we're falling, oh my gosh. It's usually pretty gentle, and we say the word down whenever something is going down or we want to come down. There's just no questions asked. We just, okay, either come out the same way we came in or come out to the side to come down. All right, let's come into that L shape again. And then, so etiquette. Helping your base up and helping your base down is something that is very common in Acroyoga because it's just nice. Okay, next one is cantilever. So the base is going to come into standing. Then the flyer is going to come onto their knees facing away. So you go ahead.
To my knees.
Yes. And then hands are going to come behind the head. And then you're going to take those hands around the base's torso. Yes, and grip. Whichever way feels comfortable, gripping one hand or gripping, interlacing. Then you're gonna take both feet out and you're gonna lay down on the base's thighs. The base has their knees quite close together so that the flyer can lay down. And then you're gonna give the base one of your feet. Okay, spotting, I'm actually gonna spot the base this time because flyer, there's really nowhere for them to go other than sitting down. So I'm actually gonna spot the base. You can switch legs. Oh, yay. And switch. 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 Super fun. Love it. Okay, we're gonna take it to the floor now. So base can go ahead and lie down with the help of the flyer or the spotter. I mean, either one or both. Nice, oh, so nice. And if you are a base and you are a person who has limited, who cannot touch their toes, let's say, then you can have a rolled up yoga mat or some sort of cushion under your sacrum / bum to sort of decrease that angle at which you have to work at. So, good way to test is, here comes, flyer can put both of their elbows or forearms on the base's feet, and if they can be in a straight line, a straight L position, then that's great. But if they have to bend the knees, just making sure that the ankles are over the hips. And so if we come forward, yeah, let's do that. Go ahead and bring her forward. This is actually an unstacked position. It's kind of unsafe because then the flyer, if they're doing whatever, they can come forward and like unintentionally. and falls can happen. But first, we're not gonna come into bird. We won't do bird first. We'll do super yogi. So folded leaf, but different. So base is going to take the arch of the foot on the flyer's hip crease. So right there. So feet are gonna be right about there. Awesome. Flyer's gonna have nice wide legs. So really wide in your legs out, or your, yeah, perfect. Then flyer is gonna bend, actually, sorry, you're gonna get the flyer to come forward quite a bit so that your feet are basically in line with their bum. Base is gonna take their hands up, and flyer is actually gonna give the base the elbows and straighten those elbows out in front of you. Base is gonna shift the weight, shift everything towards the head and up. Perfect. And the only job of the flyer is to keep those feet towards the floor. So a lot of people, if you want to demo the wrong way, like to straighten the hips, but you don't want to do that because you'll slip out. So, and to make this easier, the base can give more toe or more gas pedal. So that is, if you want to demo that quite a bit, like, yeah. So basically pointing the toe and flexing the toe is more toe, less toe. Awesome, that's really nice for the flyer, a little back bend, little inversion. You can go side to side. Let the head hang, beautiful. So, I really didn't do very much spotting, I'm sorry. So, I'm actually going to spot the biceps here. And you can also support the hips as well because that's sort of where most of the action is happening. I can control a lot from the hips. And to come out, base bends the knees. That's all that happens. Flyer keeps their toes to the floor. Toes actually come to the floor. And yay! How was that?
That was so much fun.
Right. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more L basing thingies. We'll do bird and whale. And go. So, flyer's gonna come towards the base's bum. So if you are shorter than your base, your flyer, as a flyer, you're gonna have your toes basically at your base's bum. And if you're a little taller, you're gonna step back a little bit. And feet, the base's feet are gonna come to the flyer's hip bone. Usually a good rule of thumb is the hip bone of the flyer goes in this little pocket right here between the first and second toe on the ball of the foot. And sometimes the fabric gets in the way, so we like to tuck our shirts in, or that's why you see a lot of acroyogis having crop tops. So perfect. And the base gives some resistance with the tops of the toes, or the ball of the foot, but not too much, just to let them know that the flyer, that they're there. They're not gonna let them fall. So the flyer can open up the chest and keep that pelvis nice and straight and start to lean in, coming up onto the toes. Base can bring them in and just to see the weight and then bring them out again. Yes, awesome. And bring them in and out. So base can have their hands up. So he is spotting as well. Everybody is spotting. I'm spotting. I'm spotting. I'm spotting the bicep because I can control so much from just the bicep. So flyer will have their hands like this, straight, and then base will have their hands 45 degrees. Okay, so you can, not touching yet, but just coming in and out. Awesome. These are called ski presses. Okay, whenever you feel nice and stable, the base and flyer can connect hands, scoop up with the heels. Awesome. So a lot of times we see, come forward, we see this a lot with inflexible bases, and it's a little freaky for the flyer. So we really want to keep those ankles stacked over the hips so that our our hands can be stacked, or we want a nice power line from shoulder to shoulder, from hip to hip. And this looks great, guys. So Eric can give a little bit more toe so that Marina can take her hands away. You can take them out front. That's a little harder even, but having them back behind you makes it so that you can open your chest a little bit more, look up, engage the glutes, and straighten out the legs. Raise the legs. Awesome. Beautiful. And that's a lot for the lower back. So you can actually come into super yogi from here, just coming, bringing the legs wide, bring your elbows down. Base, it's a little quick, right? But base, so base instead of parallel, duck-footed. So this is duck feet, right? Yeah, duck-footed, so that she could come down. And if you want to press back up, I'm still spotting the bicep here, pressing back up. So very important with bird is the base's feet are parallel. They're not out. As soon as they come out, the flyer falls forward. Okay, good job, and come down, yay. Same way you came in, just bending the legs. I know that was, sorry, a long hold for them. So, we'll do a little bit of base love as well. Yeah, he needs base love. So, important to take this out before we do it. So flyer is just gonna grab onto the ankles. Eric has an ankle injury, so just be careful. The right ankle, that ankle. So you might have to grab a little bit higher is all. And you're gonna raise his hips, pulling back into you, and shift side to side. Woohoo. You can go slow or fast. I really like to go fast. It really sort of massages things. Yeah, faster. Yeah, get a nice little flip-flop happening there. Does that feel good? Yeah. Okay. Last one, Acroyoga, is whale. So the flyer is actually going to come to the base's head, taking that bolster back under. Awesome. And stepping away from him, going to step right beside his head. And either bringing the feet towards you or just sort of trust falling into the feet. Let's not trust fall into the feet. So you're gonna come to the upper back, wherever it feels comfortable for you. Base is gonna grab the flyer's ankles and shift everything back and up. I'm just spotting the bicep yet again. And noticing here that we're not actually stacked like bird, where the ankles are just a bit backwards. They're just a bit back. What? They're further back than the butt. And then the wrists are obviously not stacked over the ankles because this is a counterbalance. So cool. And it's really restorative for the flyer. Nice heart opener. Flyer is, the only job of the flyer really is to sort of keep that back arched and keep the hips up. So you want to sink the hips a little bit just to show, so oh God. So that's, that's a little more work for the base. And same way you came in, just setting the feet down, bending the knees, helping the flyer up. Awesome. Helping the base up. Oh, such great etiquette. And now it's time to relax. So base and flyer can come together, back to back. And interlocking the elbows. Gonna take one foot out and then the other foot out, lean on each other, especially pressing your butt into your partner's. And sit down all the way down to the floor. Awesome. Take your legs, cross them. Cross-legged, sorry, I know this is horrible. And then unlock the elbows. Maybe scooch back to make sure that you're butt to butt. And really just breathe with your partner and feel their breath. Make sure they can feel your breath. Breathing together in harmony. We're just going to take our left ear to our left shoulder. And then if it feels good, you can go back and maybe touch your partner's head with your head. Oh, yay. And then roll it down towards your own chin, or towards your own chest, and then to the right, and back to your partner's head, and back down. Moving with the breath here together. And back we go, one more time each way. And coming, could do this all day, but coming back to neutral, reluctantly. Then one partner is going to, maybe Marina, gonna come forward with the hands, so planting the hands in front, coming into child's pose, and then staying, the flyer will stay connected. So Eric, you're gonna be the flyer. Coming into what I call child's whale. So you can, however you like, come into child's pose. And the flyer will stay connected. Whether mentally or physically, it doesn't matter. Still connected, it's all good. And then flyer is going to lift up and come butt to butt. Yep. Little awkward at first, but that's okay. And then come to lay back on your partner. And then lengthen the legs out. Seeing where, if you need to scooch closer towards your partner or further away, whichever feels good for you. Then flyer, if it feels good, you can raise your hands overhead or out to a T, or really wherever feels good. And base, if you can see your partner's hands, then the option is there to grab your flyer's hands and pull, just like. Beautiful.
Touch them gently.
Really feeling your partner's breath here, moving your spine. And coming down, flyer sits down first, and staying connected, coming back up, And switching roles. So the flyer becomes the base becomes the flyer. Base comes into a child's pose. And flyer sits on their bum or their sacrum and lays back down. Legs can come long or not, up to you. And relax. Flyer's hands can come overhead or to a T or a Y, actually. That would be really great. And base can take the flyer's wrists or arms and maybe pull gently if that feels good for the flyer. And if we don't know, just ask. And slowly coming out, same way you came in, bending those knees, and coming back to seated. Awesome. One more pose together. Okay, sitting nice and tall, inhaling those arms overhead, and twist to the left, putting your left hand on your partner's knee, your right hand on your knee, and coming to a gentle twist, inhaling to extend the spine up to the ceiling. Exhale to just maybe twist a little further. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, coming up to neutral, inhaling those hands up. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling to get longer. Exhaling to twist. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, bring those arms up. And exhale, coming down, interlocking them with your partner's elbows. And we're gonna stand back up. So take the feet out in front of you, nice and close as you can. And then we're gonna press into the feet together, press into your partner, nice and strong. Spotter can help. All the way up to standing. And turn around, high five your partner. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We had such a good time. I hope you did too. And we'll see you next time when we show you the primary series. Bye!